Hey, it's Amelia. Today I'm filming the Throwing Shade project, I believe it's called, for the Pantastic ladies. I might not have all the details correct, but basically this project is about taking all of your palettes, putting them in a wheel, spinning it, and then deciding what you're going to use. And it's for, you do 3 palettes, 1 per week. So that's 3 weeks. And then on the 4th week, you do an eye look using all of them. I don't have that many palettes anymore. So some things are singles that I'm making a palette. And then a lot of miscellaneous stuff is going to be considered one whole palette. First I want to address my face. I usually don't do dramatic face makeup. I like dramatic eye makeup. But today I wanted to do 2 things regarding Pan That Palette. And I thought I should share. So first thing I did is I wore a light foundation so I could bronze with my, what is this? This is Buck from the original Naked palette. And I don't really like how it blended, but whatever. Then I wanted to try and hit pan on my blush, as I always am. So I went really heavy with this blush, which is Mood Exposure from Hourglass. And then I went really intense with my highlight because I wanted to finish Booty Call from the Naked 2, which is this one. And I did finish it. And I would glue that back into my palette now, but I don't have my glue with me. So basically, if I look weird on camera or whatever, that's why. And then my nose makeup came off a little here. So whatever. It's my day off, so I really don't give a fuck what my face looks like. I believe I have 13 palettes right now. So I did put the Naked and Naked 2, which I'm panning, into the wheel. And I don't really know how that's going to work because I'm doing this a little differently than what most people are doing. I pan my eyeshadows for Pan That Palette Monday through Friday. And then on the weekends, I do whatever I want. And this project sort of came in a good time because when I'm doing my makeup on the weekends, it's my makeup cheat day. I can do whatever I want. And sometimes I get overwhelmed with options. So this project is going to be for 2 days a week, Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to use whatever palette shows up on the wheel. So I'm just going to get started and we'll see what happens. So the first one is my Urban Decay Singles, which I say is a palette because I do have this. Sorry if this isn't in frame. This is my, what do you call this? Custom palette from Urban Decay. This isn't relevant, but I think it's funny. Urban Decay has like a motto or a tagline or whatever that's called Beauty with an Edge. And it's on all of their palettes. So like, it's kind of rubbed off on my Naked palettes. But like, it's listed on the back on all of them. Or on the front on some of them. And my favorite thing is when I'm watching collections or declutters and people will say, oh, this is the Urban Decay Beauty with an Edge palette. And I'm like, no, it's really not. But I don't know. It's on the back too. It just makes me laugh every time. So this has a mirror and it has a slot for 6 eyeshadows. I have 8 Urban Decay Single Shadows. I showed them in my makeup collection video if you want to see those. None of these are mattes, so these are going to be the shimmers I use for the first weekend. It picked the Naked 2, which I'm panning. This is what my Naked 2 looks like right now. I just finished this eyeshadow, which is loose in here, so I can't really tilt it. And I used this today. Ooh, it matches my nail. So I think I'm going to use pretty much anything over here or this one as my cheat day eyeshadows because I'm not panning them right now. I'm panning things that are in this one. I do want to start using this one, so maybe I'll focus on that. I thought I was about to go to my other palette, but it picked the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea palette. I have so many thoughts on this palette. There's not enough time in this video, but basically I have 5 shadows left right now. These 2, which are Mermaid and Seashell, I plan on panning in a future project as face highlights. I do like Wave a lot, but it's not very pigmented, and Starfish I like the color of, but I have a lot of dupes of it in better formulas. So this palette isn't a favorite, but I haven't been using it and I need to. So this will be number 3 and I'm just going to deal with it. I did buy the NYX glitter primer, so I will see if that makes it better. But those are more, it's not bad, it's just they're all satin, and then the 2 mattes in there were really horrible. So for the 5th week, which will be after week 4, I will be using my Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette. This is number 2. This one I have a love-hate relationship with. I really like it, and I like the quality and everything. It's not like the most shimmery shimmers I've ever used, but the problem is when I swatched it in store, I swear to you this was cool toned. And then I get it, and this is a rosy palette. And I mean, I guess I should have known because there's like coral, rosewood, maroon, like those are the shade names, but like I think lavender gray threw me off, and then shell could mean anything. So this palette, I wouldn't have asked for it as a gift if I knew that it was rosy. But I swear, I swatched it in Sephora, and it was the most cool toned shimmer palette I'd ever seen. So I don't know, the Sephora I went to is the one with really shitty lighting. So, I mean, that's my fault for not going to JCPenney and going to that Sephora with the better lighting. So this will be week 5. I'm trying to figure out a way I want to use it, but I do like the light coral shade. That one's really good. My next palette is Urban Decay Gwen Stefani. This one's a little complicated. So, of the physical palette, what I have left is the mirror, which I detached, and the insert with some pans back in here. I wanted to depot this, and I thought I could save the palette while taking the shadows out so then I could give some away and keep the ones I liked. That didn't really work out. Basically, I destroyed the bottom of it. The shadows I currently have are in my new custom palette. Have I talked about this on camera? This is from the Etsy shop, Another Soul. This is the $28 one. It's a double-sided palette. And I believe the style of this is called White Queen. This is a really good palette, and I love it so far. So, this is what it looks like right now. These are my Anastasia ones. These 6 shadows here are my Gwen Stefani palette. I have Zone, Anaheim, Punk, Serious, Harajuku, and Danger. Danger and this shade here are both in a project pan currently, but I don't really care. So these 6 will be for that one. So my next choice is the Viseart Theory Palette in Cashmere. This is Theory Palette number 1. I love this. I am working on my eyeshadow favorites video. And this will be in there. I've hit pan on this shade up here. These are not named, so when I talk about these on Instagram or in videos, they're numbered. I do 1 through 3 and then 4 through 6. So I've hit pan on number 1. I really like number 3 and number 6 and number 4. 2 and 5 are okay. This is good quality, but I don't really like the color. This one isn't as pigmented as those 2, but overall I really love this. Next I have my Smoked palette from Urban Decay, and this, just like my Gwen Stefani, has been depotted. This is what it looks like at the moment. There are 4 shadows left that are depotted. This one and then these 3. I finished the other 6. Those 4 are in my custom palette also. They are these ones over here. I have 2 mushrooms, a Barlust, and Evidence. Next I have Miscellaneous. Miscellaneous is basically anything that I can't really group into a palette. A lot of these aren't really palettes. Like the last one could be considered a quad. So here's most of my Miscellaneous. This is Kat Von D Twinkle from the Metal Matte palette. Got it for my friend. I traded her Baby from the Gwen Stefani palette in my Smashbox single for this. These 3 are Anastasia shadows. This is Antique Bronze, Mercury, and Adorn. These 2 are from Subculture. Or no, these 2 are Subculture. This is from Modern Renaissance. I basically bought them off of her because I wanted to try those shades and see if there's something I like. These two I've talked about before are basically the rest of this shadow down here, which broke. And then I have Kat Von D Synergy, which is a single. Because all of my other singles in this form are Urban Decay, this is the only other brand single I have. So I couldn't group it with other single shadows. Next I have my Stila Glitters. I have Diamond Dust, Smoldering Satin, and Smoky Storm. I will not open this until I finish one of these. This one's older, so I want to really work on that. Next I have my Becca Ombre Nudes palette. This has one shadow in a project pan right now, but by the time I get to it, I think the project will be over. So right now this shadow, which is number 1, is in a project. It goes 1 through 5, there's no names. I did hit pan on number 2. This looks like a cool tone palette, and it kind of is, but on my skin tone, it pulls very warm. I mean, warm for my liking. I don't wear orange and stuff, so compared to what I like to wear, this is warm. So I will be pairing this with a lot of shadows, and then when I wear it on those cheat days, I'm probably going to pull in some shimmers because I don't really do all matte looks. My next pick is the Naked palette, and I think I'm going to use it, but specifically use any shades I'm not panning on those cheat days. So I can show you this now because it's going to look different in my update. So right now I'm panning, what is this? Sidecar, Buck, Sin, Half Baked, Smog, and Dark Horse. But right now I'm focusing on this one and this one mainly. So I'm not really touching these 4. So when I do the week of the Naked palette, I will use those 4 instead. Especially Hustle and Gunmetal, which I haven't really been using. Yay. Okay. Next is my Anastasia. Oh my god. I just dropped this palette, but everything's okay. These are all my Anastasia single shadows. I have an entire video planned on these. These are what I typically use on my cheat days anyway. Stone is one of my favorites, and I just hit pan on Noir recently. So that'll be fun. And I believe the last one is my Jouer Skinny Dip palette. I did not think this would be last. For some reason in my mind I thought this would end up in the first part, but I guess this will be for the last week. This is my favorite pre-made palette. My Anastasia singles are my favorite custom palette. This is my favorite pre-made one, if that makes sense. I have a lot of Anastasia singles that actually look a lot like these, although they're not perfect dupes. And this is just probably, I mean, I would like to say it's the best palette, but I mean, my thoughts will probably change in the future. At this moment in time, to me, this is the best palette, and I'm so excited to use this. I especially love Starlight, which I've talked about before. This and my Anastasia singles, I tend to use every cheat day, so I'm excited to have that. So those are all my eyeshadows. I don't know how many weeks this is going to take for me to go through all of those. I'm thinking it's actually going to be kind of a pain in the ass to have an entire week dedicated to just doing an eye look using all of them, especially since I'm either doing an all shimmer palette or I'm doing all mattes for the most part. So I might just skip the number 4 week where I do that, or I might do it for maybe like an extra cheat day during the week as like showing it. I don't know. I like the idea of showing the looks as an update on them, but I feel like because I'm only using 2 days for these, that might be a little difficult. I think instead of doing a photo on my Instagram using all of them, I'm just going to take a picture of the ones for those 3 weeks at the end of the 3rd week and talk about my overall thoughts. And if I some reason decide to actually declutter something, then I will talk about that. I know that was kind of long, but I mean, that's how my videos are, you know, so I always have to do it the hard way. At the end of all of this, if I want to keep going with this project, I will go through and redo my wheel spinning, and maybe then I'll do it by a 3-week basis type thing. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!